Well, it took a cameo from a man you normally don't associate with cameos, a class act, but he showed that he can convert class into adaptability and finished off the innings whose foundation was laid by Manish Pandey and a struggling David Warner. At the end, through all that, they managed to get themselves to 171 in their 20 overs for the loss of 3 wickets. What kind of score it is, it's just one of those that you can't tell till the other side has batted yet, but we'll try and still assess what it is. One thing's for sure, we started by talking about Manish Pandey before and after he gets dropped, and we've seen the first evidence of what happens after. Welcome to Cricbuzz Live, brought to you in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. In the company of Harsha Bhogle and Joy Bhattacharjya. Joy, I'll come to you first. We referred to those numbers early on, 2019, Manish Pandey, averaging 13 or 14, 75 when he came back, and shown evidence that he likes a bit of a rap on the knuckles.
Yeah, it worked. It worked for the team. It worked for him. I'm glad it did because they were under a lot of strife, and it's been the most interesting innings because I don't think, I've seen David Warner struggling. I don't think I have seen David Warner struggling the way he has. And even Manish Pandey, normally when he gets off, he gets fluent. He's either fluent or he's not. Here, he got a couple of shots, he got going, and then again, he also managed to get himself tied down. So it's been a really strange innings and fascinating cricket because once Kane Williamson came into bat, the pitch looked completely different. But lots to talk about then, so fascinating.
Yeah.
Uncle Joy read it right with little Manish. Uncle Joy read it right. Yeah.
If only he could have told me in advance to make sure I should put him in my 11 Circle team, but I should not talk about that.
Your team?
Not Warner, not Williamson, not Pandey. So let's not talk about that. Let's move on with the show because we've got lots to analyze.
Are you sure you haven't picked AB today? Okay, I tell you, I found the last 3 overs really interesting because sometimes on these, the set batsman has to take you. And when I saw Warner struggling, when I saw Manish Pandey, he started off very brightly, as Joy said, just towards the end, not quite able. I thought, they're probably going to get 150, 155 here. Kedar Jadhav, it's 12 from 4. That Williamson innings, it was like asking Satyajit Ray to do it. And I mentioned that specifically. I mentioned that specifically because wasn't Satyajit Ray involved with advertising in some form?
Absolutely, he was involved in advertising. He worked for a company called DJ Keemer. He was a fantastic illustrator. So yeah, exactly.
Great. Kane Williamson is like that.
Do it.
Yeah, Kane Williamson is like that. Kane Williamson can produce a Charulata or Kane. Jalsagar and all those great movies, and Kane Williamson can make a 30-second ad film.
Look, I completely agree with you. In fact, one of the other famous copywriters who came from advertising was a certain Salman Rushdie. And Salman Rushdie wrote quite a few very, very good ads before he decided maybe he should, get into slightly more long-form writing. And he wrote, I think Midnight Children was the first. He wrote Grime was first, but his spiritual home was Kolkata. You have to understand that.
So that means we've got someone in really good company, someone who was a copy went into other professions. Satyajit Ray, Salman Rushdie, Gautam Bhimani.
Well, I'm glad there's something I can feel better about. That was a good way to make me forget about what I did on my team. But it's actually a point. I mean, I said it at the very start. I mean, Hyderabad fans are probably feeling, why didn't Kane Williamson come in early? And Joy, we often say, as Harsha alluded to, that there are certain wickets which are tough for a new batsman coming in. Maybe it's the class of Williamson, or maybe it's about thinking that if someone was struggling, was it a matter of Warner just trying to find a way to get out earlier and they could have had 20 more runs on the board?
Yeah, I think that's a funny thing. When you saw both these catches today and you look at it in hindsight, they were first one was a decent catch. The second one was a terrific catch. A couple of terrific catches to dismiss Manish Pandey and David Warner. And you'll ask yourself that perhaps they shouldn't have taken those catches, because I think the way those, I think they would have landed at 150, 155. I mean, that fantastic catch that sorry, I haven't pronounced it right, Harsha, took. Okay. Once I go there, other words come out, so I'll just stay away. But I just wanted to say that one thing that you have to see about these innings, two things strike me very clearly. One was, this was the Chennai side that we talked about in Dubai, looking like old men in the field. And whatever they've done, there's been a certain amount of personal change, but there's been an attitude change as well. This team was brilliant on the field. They were electric on the field. So many boundaries, so many fours saved, so many boundary dashes, so many interceptions, so many fours that even if they became threes, even if they stopped the run, the kind of effort put into drop a single run was fantastic. That's one thing that I really liked about this Chennai innings. And the one thing that I was really disturbed about the SRH innings was they didn't move around in the crease at all. If you saw what Kane Williamson did in that last over, he stepped across his stumps once, he moved back once, he moved forward once. He was not giving the bowler a stationary target. And I think for whatever they were doing, they were trying hard, and there's no doubt nobody wants to stand there and not make runs. I don't think David Warner and Manish Pandey did that enough.
If we have to try and assess it, when you're out of form, Harsha, but you're a class player, you've done so much over a period of time. If it was school cricket, you'd have somebody, one of the teachers from the ground saying, yeah, hit out or get out. Next guy is ready to. You can't quite do that in international cricket. What do you do if you're David Warner halfway through that innings?
It's interesting what Manish Pandey said at the end. He said they're 9 short. That means in their head, 9 short, or we are 6 short. That only happens when people are trying to get close to me and fall short in our prediction of what the team score is going to be. Bring up the fact that I was close, I'd bring it out myself. But no one says 9 short. And I think the reason they said 180 was as much because I saw the ball being wiped a few times. So if indeed India's number 4 due has arrived, then that is my fear for Hyderabad. I think from Hyderabad's point of view, the perfect result would be winning by 5 runs. And the reason I say so is Manish Pandey will feel good about his contribution. Kedar Jadhav will feel very good about his contribution. And it means somebody has bowled well at the death. So it means that these little roles, people will feel very happy about playing these little roles. So if they win by 4-5 runs, Chennai bats so deep. So, Hyderabad's got to get there quickly. Which of these bowlers is going to do it? They've got Vijay Shankar as the sixth bowler. They've got enough bowling. But you look at Khalil, you look at Siddharth Kaul, and because Sandeep Sharma now doesn't swing the ball as prodigiously as he used to, and you're saying, take away Rashid Khan, and which of these bowlers do you not want to face? So Rashid Khan, if he can, fantastic.
Yeah, well, we'll come to that, I think, in a little more in depth. But I think, Joy, it's worth having a look at the men in yellow and what they did. Their strike bowler once again. I'm not sure if that pattern is followed by Deepak Chahar. 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. Was he due for 0 or 4 today? I'm not sure. But 3 overs for 21 for Deepak Chahar. Karan finished his spell. Shardul Thakur had a hugely expensive final over. And Jadeja, who actually looked so good, didn't end up bowling his 4th over. So they had enough choices. Do you think they could have done anything more, Joy?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think they definitely could have got one more over out of Jadeja. Given all that's happened, I think they would have definitely, Jadeja would have prospered. They had that over. I think Shardul bowled one too many. I know they would have had to go to a fast bowler at the death. Perhaps they could have gone a bit later, because at the time that he was taken off, Jadeja was still choking up the runs. And because he goes wicket to wicket, he's extremely difficult to hit. And one other thing that Jadeja did today, which was again interesting, and I was wondering why an experienced batsman like Manish Pandey and David Warner fell for it, was he was speeding up again. He was not giving them time to settle. And I've seen it very often when you do it against most other teams, they'll just stop and say, wait, you're not going to rush me, stay back in your place, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to stand in my place. I'm not going to be rushed by you. So Jadeja took out his bag of tricks. I think he could have bowled an extra over. I think they could have bowled Moeen for anyway 1 over less, or Shardul could have bowled 1 over less, and they could have finished off with Deepak Chahar and Giddy. But you can't. These are things that are very difficult, and Dhoni loves to have all his options open, and it is nitpicking to a certain extent.
If Dhoni is getting spinners to bowl less than they're allowed, because Dhoni likes to play. If there's a slightest hint of spin, Dhoni would have straight away budgeted 8 overs. So maybe they've read it differently. Indicator, and if there's a little bit of dew, then expect 2 or 3 overs from Vijay Shankar.
Yeah, absolutely. And Harsha, you started making the point about the bowlers with the batsmen out there. Who do you think, having seen the way Chennai bowled on this, are going to be the key bowlers? Yes, you might get a few extras in there. I'm going to get that from both of you. Key bowlers if Hyderabad are to defend this total of 171.
Other than Rashid Khan then. Because whatever happens, Rashid Khan is the key bowler. He's carrying this side on his shoulders. So key bowler other than Rashid Khan, I'd like to see the left-hander bowler. Khalil say, I became an international player before Sam Curran did, or around the time, just after Sam Curran did. I'm an international bowler. I'm the left-hander in this. I play that kind of role. I will not go more than 30 in my 4 overs. But I will mix it up. I will try and swing. So I'd like him to do that. Siddharth Kaul, I'm not sure he's playing the best cricket of his career. So there is an opportunity. So I think Siddharth Kaul, Vijay Shankar, if Sandeep Sharma bowls better, that's bonus. But I'm thinking Rashid and Khalil for me. Because I'm not sure so much about Suchit. There's so many left-handers in that team. They sprinkle everywhere. The left wing Suchit.
Yeah, and Sandeep Sharma, as Harsha said, would be a bonus. If we go back to the Sandeep Sharma maybe 3 seasons ago, every time that first spell, little bit of swing, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar on one side, Sandeep Sharma for a different franchise coming and picking up wickets.
Yeah, look, I don't think they can contain the way Chennai did. I don't think there's a side to contain, so they need wickets. And if I say wickets, I'd say they need wickets up front so that then Rashid can come and put on pressure. So I'm saying Sandeep Sharma and Khalil are vital to this cause. They need to do something in those first 4 overs.
Yes, because we also know that Rashid Khan, for all his brilliance, is rarely used inside the power play. Chennai will know that, probably try and utilize the power play to the best of their ability, and then it's over to Rashid Khan to see if he can turn it around. Thank you for your thoughts, gentlemen. Cricbuzz Combox will be on in the 10th over, and of course at the end to wrap up a Wednesday night from Delhi. This is Chennai against Hyderabad. Cricbuzz Live brought to you in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle.